if the stalemate drags on, there's a risk, you're saying,
Absolutely.
that you're going to take away all those gains that the Assembly Republicans won.
Well,
And so why are you encouraging the lines and some of the other Republicans to contact the Senate Republicans and turn the heat up on them that way? If the governor can't do it,
no.
can anybody else?
No, I'm certainly not, in no way, shape, or form, am I using this as a means to try to explore some pressure on the part of Mike Beline's to try and use any leverage with the Senate Republicans. I haven't thought about that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think if anything, I've heard of Republican senators calling Republican Assembly members saying, you should demand that the Speaker call us back. I don't know if we have a letter to that effect, Danny, so far, from one single member, one request for one Republican Assembly member to say, let's reconvene, let's get back, because we've got to go back and do the work. I think the Assembly Republicans realize one thing. What they want, a better budget for themselves, given their own, political filter, yeah, possibly. But they were practical enough to know that a budget is about compromise. And, I'm not going to talk them up. I don't want to hurt them. But I think they did, the honorable thing. They negotiated the budget in good faith.
Mr. Speaker,
And they deserve the vacation that they're on. I think like half, 2/3 of them are out of the state, and they ought to be.
to return to the CEQA from that, just to be clear, I think Senator Toronto was suggesting earlier he would be willing to consider some CEQA outside the budget. Were you saying earlier?
I'm not willing to.
Period.
You're exactly right.
But you did say that previously you had expressed an interest in discussing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I said that previously I was interested in that, but I'm not going to be held hostage to the views of the very few that aren't reflective of the voters in California. We're not going to do that.
And your position on the bonds would be the governor's infrastructure package doesn't happen this year?
It absolutely doesn't happen. Certainly not given the Senate Republican stance on the budget. Absolutely not. It just doesn't happen.
They were wrong. I mean, it came out, they accepted something along the lines of the Senate Republicans, $500 million, over the...
Well, actually,
I mean, at that point then...
$500 million what?
Or, I'm just, if they would accept something other than a zero operating deficit with that...
Well, the operating deficit that we have was $700 million plus $200 million in blue pencil results would take us to the $500 million. If they went back to that, which is in essence our budget, and they went back to that and they want to have a conversation about CEQA, I'd welcome the conversation, after the fact, obviously. But given where we are today, as entrenched as the Republican senators are, I'm not interested in
So it's
that.
really odd, the idea to get to zero, because you think the trade-off would be damage to programs that never...
Absolutely.
As long as they're on that, then it's CEQA, bonds, those kind of things are off the table. But if they were to come closer to what you all passed, then you'd be open to those things, to bonds and the CEQA discussions.
Let's just say I would, if the budget was approved as it was approved in the Assembly, after the budget gets approved, so that it isn't like a political hostage taking, I'll be more than happy to enter into a conversation. I wouldn't make any commitments, certainly not through you, that that I would deliver for them. But is it something I'd look at? Yeah, I'd look at it. But that's not what's happening here. And what's happening here is the total opposite. What's happening here is that the Senate Republicans are entrenched. They're digging in their heels more and more. There's no clear exit strategy to get a budget. And in the meantime, Californians are suffering. So there has to be consequences for that. And I outlined what those consequences are. I'm very clear as to what I'm going to do. I haven't even consulted with one single member of my caucus on what I'm telling you today, and I guarantee you, without question, that 100% of them are going to be in full agreement with what I've laid out here today. So.